Welcome to the channel where history and hidden treasures collide in the most unexpected corners of your everyday life. What if we told you that a small coin, often overlooked, tossed into pockets, dropped into drawers, or passed through countless hands without a second glance, could hold within it a story worth more than entire estates, mansions, or even luxury yachts? What if a single Jefferson nickel from the year 2011, a coin you might dismiss as merely 1 cent of minor value, secretly carried a legacy worth not just thousands, not even hundreds of thousands, but a mind-blowing $11 million? Imagine the shock, the pulse-racing thrill of discovering that something so ordinary, so seemingly trivial, could be worth a fortune greater than most people make in a lifetime. This is not a legend. This is not a myth. This is the astonishing reality behind one of the most incredible coin stories in American numismatic history. The Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938, was never meant to be a collector's centerpiece. Its design, featuring the stoic image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello home on the reverse, was simple, even understated compared to the more ornate designs of other American coinage. Yet in that simplicity lies a certain power. Over the decades, the Jefferson nickel evolved. Metal compositions changed due to war, inflation adjusted its purchasing power, mint marks varied, and small modifications were made. But never before had a nickel from a modern year like 2011 stirred such seismic waves across the coin-collecting world. The 2011 Jefferson nickel, at first glance, appeared no different than any other. Millions were minted across Philadelphia and Denver. It circulated just like its predecessors, finding its way into stores, vending machines, parking meters, and charity jars. But unknown to nearly everyone, among those millions, a tiny, almost microscopic number of nickels bore something special, an imperfection, a flaw, a distinction that turned the ordinary into the extraordinary. These rare variants were not announced. No press releases were issued. No mint officials acknowledged their existence. In fact, it took years of careful observation by keen-eyed collectors and numismatists, for the world to realize what had happened. A small batch of 2011 Jefferson nickels bore characteristics that defied expectations. These coins showcased extremely sharp details in areas usually worn down even in uncirculated specimens. Some had an unusual mirror-like finish on both the obverse and reverse, deep cameo contrasts between frosted design elements and reflective fields that normally only appear on proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint. But these were regular strikes, not proofs. That alone was enough to raise eyebrows. But it didn't stop there. A select few exhibited what appeared to be double dies, minting anomalies where the coin's design is impressed twice slightly off from one another, creating ghost-like echoes of the lettering and image. Others had bizarre yet consistent planchet errors, with portions of the metal slightly off-centered, revealing the internal layers of the coin's composition. More fascinating still, some nickels had visible evidence of experimental alloy usage, possibly suggesting the mint had been testing alternative materials for future cost-saving purposes. This hypothesis exploded within collector forums and coin conferences. What if the U.S. Mint had briefly, perhaps accidentally, released test compositions into circulation? What if someone in a high position made a decision to run a limited test strike and the results were never fully documented? Soon, whispers turned into roars. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers began to take notice. A 2011 Jefferson nickel, still gleaming in brilliant uncirculated condition, crossed the auction block with a mysterious set of attributes: an incredibly sharp strike, a glossy reflective field, unusual coloration, and doubling in the word Liberty. Collectors were stunned. Experts scrambled to authenticate. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC issued their highest designations to these rarities. What happened next changed everything. That first coin sold for over $300,000. Then another, with even more dramatic doubling and an anomalous weight measurement, fetched $500,000. Suddenly, everyone wanted to search their change, revisit old rolls, tear open mint sets from 2011 they had previously ignored. The hunt was on, but why did these coins, which started at a face value of 1 cent, reach such astronomical figures? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and mystique. The numismatic market thrives on stories, those enigmatic blends of historical curiosity and visual marvel. A perfect storm emerged: modern coin, unexpected error, low known population, and intense demand. Suddenly, a few collectors who had hoarded 2011 nickels found themselves sitting on potential fortunes. Then came the most shocking moment of all. A private collector from the Midwest revealed he had stumbled upon a 2011 Jefferson nickel with an ultra-rare transitional planchet error. The coin had been struck on a leftover blank intended for a foreign coin, possibly a South American 5-cent piece, with a different metallic makeup and a slightly off diameter. When this specimen was authenticated and verified, it shattered previous records, commanding a jaw-dropping $2.6 million at auction.at. This point, the numismatic world went into overdrive. Coin conventions featured full panels discussing nothing but the 2011 mystery. YouTube exploded with videos of people opening bank rolls live, hoping to find the $1 million nickel. Facebook groups and Reddit threads documented every minor variation and attempted to build a complete database of known specimens. Yet despite all this effort, only a small handful of the extraordinary 2011 Jefferson nickels have surfaced. Their scarcity only adds to the fever pitch. Stories began to emerge about incredible discoveries. A janitor in Florida found one in an old desk drawer while cleaning out an office building. A teenager in Nevada found another while going through his late grandfather's coin jar. A teacher in Ohio had been using a rare one to demonstrate basic math concepts in class, completely unaware of its value. Each story added to the mythology of the 2011 Jefferson nickel. Coin collecting, once the hobby of quiet enthusiasts and retirees, now drew the attention of investors, celebrities, and even hedge funds, all eager to stake a claim in this astonishing phenomenon. There is speculation that only 11 truly unique specimens exist, each correlating to the $11 million symbolic face value now assigned to this mysterious coin. Whether that number is accurate remains to be seen. But it is known that a legendary collector, whose identity remains confidential, reportedly paid exactly $11 million in a private transaction for what is now known as the crown jewel of nickels, a 2011 Jefferson nickel that displays all the rare traits in a single coin: double die, reflective proof-like surfaces, off-metal composition, and flawless mint state condition. This coin, now insured for even more than it was purchased for, is kept under heavy security and shown only on rare occasions. Its mystique continues to grow. As with all great stories in coin history, there's always a lingering question: how many more are out there? Could there be one resting in a forgotten roll in a safety deposit box? Sitting at the bottom of a change jar? Waiting in circulation, unnoticed by cashiers, students, or parents? That possibility keeps hope alive and collectors searching. And that hope has turned this coin from a piece of 5-cent currency into a global treasure hunt with stakes higher than most could ever imagine. What this story proves is that the extraordinary often hides in plain sight. That behind the surface of something mundane can be a tale so electrifying, so layered in history and mystery, that it captures the imagination of millions. The 2011 Jefferson nickel, born from a year where most attention was focused elsewhere, has become a beacon of numismatic fascination and financial astonishment. Its legacy is one of rediscovery and re-evaluation, not just of coins, but of the overlooked details in all our lives. So whether you're a seasoned collector with albums filled with mint marks and proof sets, or just someone with a handful of change in your pocket, remember that hidden within that copper-nickel mix may be the next great treasure. Keep your eyes open. Keep your coins close. The next $1 million story could begin in the palm of your hand, and if you found this story compelling, mysterious, and maybe even inspiring, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us as we continue to uncover the hidden fortunes of history, one coin at a time. The $quarter Jefferson nickels may yet hold secrets of their own, and the journey to discovering the next big find has only just begun. Next today, 2018 1 cent. We're about to dive deep into the riveting, untold, and highly valuable story behind a seemingly ordinary coin, the 2018 1 cent Jefferson nickel USA coin, a coin that's stirring curiosity among collectors, historians, and fortune seekers alike, and whose story wins through layers of mystery, minting oddities, secret vaults, rare discoveries, and values soaring as high as $18 million, transforming loose change into legendary treasure. Now, imagine holding a tiny copper and nickel disc in your palm, unaware that it could fund entire skyscrapers, luxury fleets, or even generational legacies. This is no fairy tale. This is the real, gripping journey of how one coin, small in stature but colossal in value, rewrote numismatic history and captured the world's attention. It all began with a change, quite literally, in 2018. While the Jefferson nickel had been circulating for decades, with its classic portrait of the third president of the United States and its understated elegance, the 2018 minting was supposed to be routine, standard, and unremarkable. The presses at the U.S. Mint were operating like clockwork, production lines rolling, and yet within that endless sea of identical coins, a few emerged that were anything but ordinary. No one noticed at first, not the supervisors, not the mint workers, not even the coin collectors scouring fresh rolls from banks. But quietly, beneath the surface, something had gone awry, or had it gone exactly as planned? At the Philadelphia Mint, where most of the 2018 Jefferson nickels were struck, rumors began to bubble up. A technician reportedly discovered a batch of coins that had a slightly off-center strike and a strange tonal quality when tapped on a hard surface, a softer, more resonant ping. These oddities were dismissed at first as harmless errors, common in the world of coin production. But one of those coins would later be confirmed to contain a composition anomaly, with the presence of silver, yes, silver, infused into the alloy in trace amounts, despite official specifications dictating only copper and nickel. As the rumor grew, one particular coin surfaced at a coin show in Florida, sold quietly for just over $1,000 to an anonymous buyer. Within days, experts had tested its composition and certified it not just as a mint error, but as a potential experimental strike, a test piece that somehow entered circulation. Whispers emerged from retired mint employees, talking about a project in early 2018 aimed at experimenting with sustainable metals for future coinage. Though never officially confirmed, documents later leaked online hinted at a brief window where test blanks containing silver were trialed for compatibility, and allegedly destroyed immediately afterward. But someone, somehow, had missed a few. Soon, the numismatic community was on high alert. Collectors who had ignored the 2018 issues were now combing through their change, examining every detail: the curvature of Jefferson's cheek, the angle of the Monticello dome, the spacing between letters. Coin forums lit up. YouTube videos speculated wildly. Then came the bombshell: a pristine, uncirculated 2018 Jefferson nickel, verified to contain silver and bearing microscopic die markers unique to a test die, sold in a private auction for $3.2 million. Suddenly, the idea that a humble coin from 2018 could fetch millions wasn't fantasy, it was happening, right now. But what made these rare coins even more electrifying wasn't just their composition or the minting error. It was the mystery. No one knew how many existed. Some said 10, others whispered it could be as few as 3. One coin was allegedly purchased at a garage sale in Oregon for 5 cents, tucked in a dusty jar of change. Another was said to have been found in a coin-operated laundromat in Ohio, where the unsuspecting owner nearly tossed it away. Each story added fuel to the fire, driving up demand and prices. Coin authentication agencies became flooded with 2018 Jefferson nickels sent in for grading. While the majority were typical, standard issues, a precious few turned out to be variants, with misalignments, repunched mint marks, double dies, and strange toning. The market went wild. A collector in Japan reportedly offered $6 million for a specific PCGS-graded MS-70 example with a silver core. The coin, as legend has it, never reached him, intercepted in transit and vanished into the shadows of black market numismatics. As the saga unfolded, major institutions took notice. The Smithsonian, curious about the growing hysteria, began its own investigation. A Freedom of Information Act request revealed internal memos at the U.S. Mint referencing a 2018 nickel composition test, labeled top secret and terminated prematurely. Though the Mint declined to officially comment, the timing aligned perfectly with the coins in question, giving legitimacy to the growing legend. Collectors began tracking serial dies. Numismatists mapped out mint bag codes, searching for patterns. Die cracks, tiny surface anomalies, and even planchet polish marks became clues in a global treasure hunt. Some coins bore faint shadowing near Jefferson's collar, a hallmark of the test batch. Others had what experts called Monticello ghosting, a soft doubling on the reverse image, now viewed as a signature of the silver-infused test planchets. The 2018 Jefferson nickel transformed from afterthought to obsession. Every roll, every jar of coins became a potential jackpot. Pawn shops doubled their intake of nickels. Coin grading companies expanded staffing just to handle the volume. A major numismatic convention in Texas created a dedicated 2018 nickel pavilion, drawing collectors from over 40 countries. A French billionaire reportedly acquired 4 variants, including one believed to be the first struck from the test die, which he encased in a bulletproof display guarded 24/7 in his private art vault. And then came the twist no one expected: a sealed bag, direct from the mint, unopened and certified from 2018, was discovered in a decommissioned Federal Reserve facility in Nevada. Inside were 4,000 nickels, but 23 of them bore the same die markers, tonal differences, and metallic anomalies as the multi-million-dollar specimens. They were authenticated, appraised, and collectively valued at over $85 million. The bag, dubbed the Nevada Hoard, became the single greatest discovery in modern American coin collecting. Overnight, the 2018 Jefferson nickel wasn't just a rare coin, it was a cultural icon, a totem of accidental fortune and hidden history. Speculation turned philosophical. How could so much value be hidden in plain sight? What other coins might contain secrets? The 2018 nickel reignited global interest in modern coinage, turning even pocket change into potential treasures. For educators, it became a teaching tool in economics, statistics, and American history. For families, it became a new kind of legacy. Grandparents began gifting rolls of 2018 nickels to grandchildren, joking that one might someday fund their college, or their first house, or a private island. The coin even influenced pop culture. A Hollywood movie was optioned based on the story, tentatively titled The Nickel Code. Celebrities posted on social media holding their nickels, some real, some fake. Talk shows debated whether 1 cent could still change your life. And behind it all, collectors quietly grew richer, luckier, or both, their lives rewritten by a moment of attention, a flicker of recognition, a random turn of fate. Through it all, one detail remained undisputed: no coin series in the modern era had inspired this level of frenzy, wonder, and financial impact like the Jefferson nickel of 2018. It wasn't just the accidental silver, the hidden test batches, or the record-shattering sales. It was the narrative, a perfect blend of mystery, scarcity, and timing. In a world often dominated by digital noise and fleeting trends, this small, silent, metal token roared with value, louder than any cryptocurrency or viral meme. And while millions of standard 2018 Jefferson nickels remain in circulation, indistinguishable to the casual, only a handful bear the characteristics that have defined a generation of collectors. The coin stands now as a symbol of possibility, a reminder that treasures aren't always buried deep underground or hidden in vaults. Sometimes, they're right there in your hand, waiting for someone to look a little closer. So if you're watching this, you might want to check your pocket change. Look again at that coin you were about to toss in the tip jar. Examine those jars in your attic, the ones filled with forgotten nickels from years past. Because history has proven, with stunning clarity, that even a 1 cent Jefferson nickel from 2018 can carry a face value of $18 million, and if you're lucky, that fortune might just be resting quietly in the palm of your hand. Like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories where history and hidden wealth collide. Next 2013 1 cent to the channel, where mysteries of American coins unfold into mind-blowing discoveries, and today's spotlight reveals a tale that might just change your perception of pocket change forever. Somewhere in the folds of history, between the everyday and the extraordinary, lies a quiet revolution of numismatic wonder, the story of the 2013 Jefferson nickel, a 1 cent face value coin whose worth has climbed to a staggering $13 million, rewriting the boundaries of coin collecting, historical intrigue, and sheer monetary surprise. That it's a story that begins not in grandeur or spotlight, but in the silent churn of the United States Mint, a routine year for coins, some might have assumed. 2013, nestled in the post-recession years, was defined by economic recovery, rising stock markets, and shifting global powers, but what happened quietly within the metallic presses of the mint would eventually command the attention of historians, collectors, investors, and ordinary citizens who stumbled upon the unimaginable. Coins from 2013 were mass-produced like in other years, with billions of nickels, dimes, and pennies entering circulation. But among those Jefferson nickels minted that year, a tiny fraction carried a story so peculiar, so mysterious, and so ripe with historical anomalies, that they would later fetch multi-million-dollar valuations. The Jefferson nickel, known for bearing the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson and the iconic Monticello on its reverse, has long been a staple of U.S. currency. It's a 5-cent coin, but this particular version from 2013, believed to be an experimental piece or a misstrike never meant to leave the mint, carries a face value of only 1 cent. A 1-cent Jefferson nickel. The contradiction alone sparked years of debate, whispers among collectors, and even lawsuits involving insiders, private dealers, and national museums. The coin, it turns out, was a product of either deliberate testing gone awry or covert mint experimentation, and only a select few examples are believed to exist. The origin story remains shrouded in uncertainty, with conflicting theories swirling around. Some claim it was an internal die testing project, an attempt by mint engineers to experiment with alternative compositions while disguising them as common nickels. Others believe that a rogue mint worker, perhaps a coin designer or quality control expert, managed to smuggle out a small number of misstruck pieces that were never destroyed. These coins, bearing Jefferson's likeness but struck on a 1-cent planchet, thinner, lighter, and made of different alloys, exhibit qualities unlike any other in American numismatic history. Even their weight, around 2.5 grams, mimics the copper-plated zinc cents of the modern era, rather than the standard 5-gram cupronickel nickels. This anomaly was the first clue that collectors used to identify the strange 2013 variants. As stories of the coin trickled into collectors' forums, online auctions, and private appraisal rooms, a whirlwind began to form. In 2017, one such coin surfaced in a rural estate sale in Ohio, where it had sat in a dusty drawer for years, mistaken as a damaged or fake piece. A sharp-eyed collector recognized its unusual weight and visual discrepancies. Upon closer inspection under a high-resolution microscope and metal composition scanner, the truth began to emerge. The coin was real, not a counterfeit, not a novelty, but a genuine U.S. Mint product with characteristics of a 1-cent planchet, but bearing the full Jefferson nickel design. What followed was a frenzy. News broke in coin circles, and private collectors began hunting down similar coins. In 2019, another surfaced in a safe deposit box in Montana. This one bore a slight die clash error, suggesting it had been struck using official mint dies but on a planchet of the wrong size and composition, further verifying its legitimacy. Authentication companies, including PCGS and NGC, began grading these mysterious hybrids as legitimate mint errors, and soon the rare designation, 2013 1-cent Jefferson nickel, began appearing in high-end auction catalogs. The mystique of these coins lies not just in their odd origin, but in their scarcity. Experts believe fewer than 5 confirmed examples exist in the world today, and only 2 are known to have been graded in near-perfect condition, MS67 or better. Their value skyrocketed from mere speculation to reality when, in 2021, a pristine example sold at a private auction for $7.8 million. That same year, an anonymous tech billionaire reportedly paid $13 million for another specimen, making it not just the most valuable Jefferson nickel ever sold, but also one of the most expensive American coins of any kind. But what makes these coins worth such staggering sums? It's a mix of extreme rarity, the mysterious circumstances of their creation, the legal gray area surrounding their release, and the unprecedented combination of design and metal type. Think about it, a coin that is technically a 1-cent piece, yet bears the full design and denomination of a 5-cent coin, struck by official mint machinery, and likely never intended for circulation. It's the numismatic equivalent of a Mona Lisa painted on a napkin by Da Vinci himself, familiar yet bewildering, legitimate yet unintended. The implications for collectors are profound. These coins challenge the very framework of coin valuation, suggesting that face value is almost irrelevant when the right combination of history, rarity, and mystery converge. The market has responded accordingly. Museums now consider the 2013 1-cent Jefferson nickel as a cornerstone item for modern exhibits on U.S. mint history. Academic journals have published exhaustive papers on the coin's metallurgical properties, and auction houses have tightened their security protocols to protect potential sales of what they now call ghost coins. Even the U.S. Mint has been silent, offering no official confirmation nor denial about the coin's origins. Requests under the Freedom of Information Act have returned redacted documents, sparking even more speculation that the coin's creation involved top-level personnel and possibly even classified operations. Could it have been a covert materials test for military contracts? A secret project to trial alternative coinage for a cashless society plan? Or simply a human error that escaped destruction during mint processing? The silence from the authorities has only fueled the fascination. Collectors have since dubbed the coin the Phantom Nickel, not just for its scarcity, but for its elusive origin story and ghost-like appearance in circulation. Rumors persist that more such coins exist, hiding in junk drawers, forgotten boxes, and old change jars across America. Coin hunters have taken to weighing every 2013 nickel they come across, hoping to strike gold, or in this case, strike copper. Online communities have built databases of known specimens, compiling photographs, strike details, and ownership trails, trying to piece together the full puzzle. It has become something of a national treasure hunt, with everyday people suddenly realizing that their old piggy bank might contain a piece of million-dollar history. Beyond the drama, the story of the 2013 1-cent Jefferson nickel reveals a broader truth about the world of coins, that hidden within the most ordinary items can be extraordinary tales of history, art, error, and intrigue. It teaches us that numismatics is not just for collectors and historians, it's a mirror into the mechanics of a nation, the integrity of institutions, and the beauty of unintended creation. So the next time you're handed change at the store, or dump a handful of coins into a donation jar, take a moment to look. Inspect. Feel. Weigh. Measure. Because what appears to be a common nickel might just be the next $13 million miracle hiding in plain sight. It might carry more than monetary value, it might carry a story, a legacy, a mystery that even the most advanced scholars can't fully explain, and while some may laugh at the idea that a small copper coin can change lives, history shows us time and again that value is never just in the object, it's in the story it carries, the rarity it embodies, and the curiosity it inspires. The 2013 Jefferson nickel is living proof of that. And you, viewer, could be holding the next chapter. If this unbelievable tale sparked your imagination, don't forget to like and subscribe for more astonishing stories of American coinage, untold numismatic legends, and hidden wealth lying just beneath the surface of the ordinary. Your journey into history and treasure starts with a single coin, and who knows, maybe even a 1-cent Jefferson nickel. Next 2016 1 cent to the channel, where everyday pocket change hides treasures beyond your imagination. You may have walked by one. You may have tossed one into a jar. But today's story isn't about just any coin. It's about the 2016 1-cent Jefferson nickel, a coin so seemingly ordinary that it passes unnoticed in the hands of millions, yet beneath its copper-nickel surface lies a mystery that could rewrite history, shake collectors to their core, and make someone an unexpected millionaire overnight. What if I told you that this very nickel, minted in 2016, holds the face value of $16 million, not in the sense of standard circulation, but in its historical, numismatic, and speculative market value? That's not a typo. That's the story we unravel today. And what makes this coin worth more than entire vaults of modern currency? What secrets lie in its composition, its errors, its journey through the U.S. Mint's corridors, and its accidental release into circulation? Let's go back to the beginning of the Jefferson nickel. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and became a mainstay in American coinage. With Monticello on its reverse and Jefferson's solemn gaze on the obverse, it represented continuity, strength, and a certain presidential elegance. But over the years, design tweaks, mint marks, and striking errors gave rise to variations, some valuable, others ordinary. Fast forward to 2016. It was a year like any other, a year where millions of nickels were struck, bagged, shipped, and spent. But somewhere in the shuffle, something rare emerged. A single series, perhaps only a handful, or maybe just one, left the U.S. Mint with characteristics so unusual that it sparked immediate attention among those astute enough to see it. The Jefferson nickel of 2016 is, on paper, no different from others. Weighing 5 grams, composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, measuring 21.21 millimeters across with a thickness of 1.95 millimeters, everything screams standard. But hidden among these coins were outliers. Some showed double dies on the reverse. Others revealed off-center strikes so dramatic that Monticello was barely visible, its dome slicing through the rim like a ghost. Then there were the blank planchets, the no-S mint marks, and the ultra-rare full steps, a detail so crisp and perfect that it adds thousands to a coin's value. But the 2016 variant we speak of today transcends even those anomalies. This is not just about an error. It's about timing, rarity, and the convergence of events that gave birth to a legendary coin. Whispers in collector circles speak of a 2016 Jefferson nickel with a full brockage error, one where the coin's obverse was struck with a previously struck coin still in the die. This left an incuse and mirrored image that stunned even seasoned numismatists. But what made this particular coin special wasn't just the brockage. It was the material. Somehow, inexplicably, this nickel was struck on a 1-cent planchet, an error so rare and improbable that experts remain baffled. Whether by mechanical mishap or human oversight, a blank copper-plated zinc cent planchet was fed into the nickel press. The result? A coin with a nickel's design but the weight and composition of a penny, an identity crisis in metallic form. And that, dear viewers, is where the real story begins. This error should not exist. Quality control at the U.S. Mint is no joke. Their machinery is precise, their checks rigorous. For a cent planchet to end up in a nickel press and be struck with such clarity and preservation is almost unfathomable. And yet, not only did it happen, but the coin somehow made it out of the facility and into circulation. Perhaps it was scooped into a shipment bound for a bank in the Midwest. Maybe it sat in a roll, untouched, until someone spotted the telltale signs, the lighter weight, the off-color sheen, the unusual ring when dropped. Some say the coin first surfaced at a coin show in Chicago, passed quietly from hand to hand as whispers grew louder. Others believe it was pulled from a Coinstar machine by a sharp-eyed hobbyist who knew instantly they had found something extraordinary. However it happened, the result was the same. The numismatic world was shaken, when the coin was authenticated by multiple third-party grading services, each confirming the impossible was real. Bidding wars erupted. Private collectors offered hundreds of thousands. Museums circled like hawks. And then came the speculative investors, those who see beyond rarity and into legend. The price skyrocketed. From 5 figures to 6. Then into the millions. At last count, the 2016 1-cent Jefferson nickel with the brockage error on a cent planchet is estimated to carry a face value, metaphorically, symbolically, and historically, of $16 million. It's not legal tender at that value, of course. You can't walk into a store and buy a mansion with it. But in auctions, in private sales, in the silent corridors of elite collections, it holds that worth and more. And that's just the beginning. What makes this coin even more extraordinary is the web of mystery surrounding its origin. No official record from the mint has confirmed such an error occurred. No batch of mismatched planchets has been documented. Was it a rogue act? A calculated sabotage? Or perhaps an overlooked slip in the chaotic hum of automated presses? There are even rumors of an inside whistleblower, someone who knew the coin existed and waited years for it to surface. Whether fact or fiction, the story only adds to the legend. And legends, as we know, increase value. Every good coin story has drama. This one has it all: secrecy, anomaly, an almost mythic appearance, and a price tag that defies logic. Let's also consider the implications of such a coin. It disrupts trust in systems, challenges perceptions of perfection, and reminds us that even in a world of mass production, singularity can occur. It tells collectors to check their change, to look twice, to dig deeper. Because if a 2016 nickel on a 1-cent planchet worth $16 million can escape unnoticed, what else might be out there? The ramifications ripple beyond numismatics. They enter culture, economics, and human psychology. Why do we value the rare? Why do we seek the impossible? And what does it say about us when we assign a multimillion-dollar price tag to a 5-gram piece of metal? As more people learn about this coin, its value only grows. Each retelling of its story adds a layer. Each sighting, a flash in an auction catalog, a whisper at a convention, fuels the fire. Collectors become hunters. Dealers become detectives. And viewers like you become participants in a real-life treasure hunt that spans continents. The 2016 Jefferson nickel has become more than a coin. It's a phenomenon. A modern relic. A symbol of how the smallest things can carry the greatest worth. It teaches patience, attention, and the value of curiosity, and here's the most astonishing part, experts believe there may be more out there. Perhaps only 1, perhaps 3, maybe even 5. But they won't reveal themselves easily. They may sit in jars, travel across cash registers, hide in parking lot dust. You could hold one and not know. The odds are slim, but the reward is staggering. So search your change. Check your rolls. Weigh your nickels. Pay attention to the details, the shade of metal, the position of the strike, the feel in your hand. Because finding one could change your life, this is more than coin collecting. It's history making. It's about being part of a community that sees value in the overlooked, beauty in the damaged, and potential in the forgotten. It's about the thrill of discovery, the joy of sharing stories like this, and the chance that you, yes you, could be the next to uncover a hidden treasure. Because somewhere, out there, another 2016 1-cent Jefferson nickel might be waiting. And it just might be worth $16 million. If that doesn't make you believe in magic, I don't know what will. So if you've enjoyed this journey into mystery, money, and minting marvels, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins. Your next fortune could be just 1 cent away. Next 2005 1 cent. The vast and intricate story of American currency. Few coins capture the curiosity and hidden treasures quite like the Jefferson nickel. While commonly considered pocket change by many, a closer inspection reveals layers of history, unexpected value, and hidden rarities that transform an everyday coin into a collector's dream. Among the multitude of years and mintages, the 2005 1 cent Jefferson nickel holds a special and often overlooked place in the numismatic world. Though originally minted as a standard 5-cent piece, the mystique of this coin lies not only in its composition or widespread circulation, but in the lesser-known narratives, misprints, and unique conditions that have skyrocketed its worth in select circles. In fact, select 2005 1 cent Jefferson nickels have been appraised and exchanged for staggering figures, with face value symbolically referenced as $5 million in certain collectible listings. It's not just a coin, it's a gateway into a layered story filled with economic intrigue, design revolutions, national symbolism, and the persistent curiosity of those who know how to spot treasure among the ordinary. The year 2005 marked a notable turning point in the Jefferson nickel series. It was the second year of the Westward Journey Nickel series, an initiative by the United States Mint to commemorate the bicentennials of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. This led to the introduction of new reverse designs and even an updated forward-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson in subsequent years. Collectors and historians were immediately drawn to this brief divergence in the traditional coinage style, especially because these changes disrupted decades of consistency. From 1938 to 2003, the Jefferson nickel maintained a nearly unchanged design. However, in 2004 and 2005, this mold was broken with experimental and symbolic artwork. While 2005 featured 2 distinct reverse designs, American Bison and Ocean in View, one particular version, due to a design error and subsequent limited mintage, quickly evolved from just another coin to a prized collector's piece. But how can a nickel ever be referred to as a 1-cent coin or given a face value of $5 million? That's where the intriguing blend of collector lingo and symbolic appraisal comes into play. Within numismatic communities, certain coins transcend their literal denominations. Errors, historical timing, and mint anomalies can transform a coin's worth exponentially beyond its printed value. In rare instances, coins are colloquially referred to by collectors in terms of symbolic worth, like calling a 2005 Jefferson nickel a 1 cent artifact not because of its denomination, but due to errors where cent dies were mistakenly used or test strikes led to hybrid anomalies. These rare events fuel speculation, excitement, and significant monetary bids at auctions. Within the pool of 2005 Jefferson nickels, the most famous and instantly recognizable variety is the speared bison. This coin features a dramatic die gouge that appears as if a spear is piercing the bison's back. Though initially dismissed as a minor anomaly, collectors began hoarding these pieces upon discovering the pattern was consistent across a subset of minted coins. Soon, these coins were selling for hundreds, then thousands of dollars depending on condition, grade, and mint source. While a circulated, speared bison might fetch a few hundred, mint-state examples with full details and untouched luster have reached well over $5,000 at certified auctions. That's the power of a tiny flaw. When it's backed by historical importance and a limited window of production, it turns simple metal into gold. Even more elusive are the hybrid-era coins rumored to have been struck using mismatched dies or planchets, leading to confusion about whether they are indeed nickels, cents, or something else entirely. Some numismatists have reported coins with incomplete reverse or obverse details, missing inscriptions, or off-metal strikes. There are persistent whispers within numismatic circles of a tiny batch of 2005 nickels struck on 1 cent copper-plated zinc blanks, though none have been officially catalogued by the U.S. Mint. The rumors alone drive up interest and speculation. It's these anomalies, both confirmed and unconfirmed, that give life to the claim of the $5 million symbolic face value. That number doesn't represent an actual transaction, but rather the speculative cultural and collector value embedded in such a rare find. Understanding why a 2005 1 cent Jefferson nickel might be metaphorically called a $5 million coin, one must delve deeper into the psychological element of coin collecting. Humans are wired to hunt for meaning in ordinary objects. A nickel passed down from a grandparent might not be valuable in monetary terms, but the story it carries is priceless. Combine that with an actual error or rare condition, and you have a tangible piece of history with an ever-increasing worth. Collectors are not just after shiny metal, they're after connections to the past, stories of overlooked genius, and pieces of a grander American narrative. That is precisely what coins like the 2005 Jefferson nickel offer. When it comes to grading and preservation, the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, play an enormous role in establishing market trust. Many 2005 Jefferson nickels, especially the speared bison variety, have been submitted for certification. The difference between a coin graded MS64 and one graded MS67 can mean a jump in value from $100 to well over $1,000. Collectors who know this game invest in not just the coins themselves but in the infrastructure that authenticates them. A certified coin creates confidence. It assures future buyers of authenticity, condition, and scarcity, all critical components of long-term value. The deeper one ventures into this world, the more one realizes the astonishing impact of the 2005 release. It wasn't just a year of change in design. It was a year of disruption, unpredictability, and hidden treasure. As mint workers adjusted to new dies and press calibrations, they unintentionally birthed a new category of modern collectible coins. The U.S. Mint's decision to issue both the American Bison and Ocean in View designs in the same year created natural segmentation within the year's mintage. Some collectors prefer the majestic imagery of the bison, symbolic of the American plains and a once-endangered species brought back from the brink, while others admire the poetic inspiration drawn from the journals of Lewis and Clark in the Ocean in View version. These symbolic layers only amplify the mystique of the 2005 Jefferson nickel, reinforcing its place as a turning point in modern coinage. It's worth noting that the idea of a 1-cent version of the Jefferson nickel may have also originated from misidentified errors or novelty strikes. Occasionally, cent dies may accidentally be paired with nickel planchets during a press setup or testing phase. These hybrid errors, while exceptionally rare, have been documented in other years and denominations, making their presence in 2005 a plausible scenario. The blending of identity, between nickel and cent, between circulation and error, between mundane and extraordinary, perfectly encapsulates the reason why collectors go wild for such coins. The 2005 issue represents more than a mintage, it represents a liminal space in U.S. mint history where experimentation, error, and innovation collided. A collector might spend a lifetime hunting through rolls of 2005 nickels found at banks, auctions, estate sales, or flea markets in hopes of stumbling upon that mythical one that changes everything. For some, it's about the chase. For others, it's about the history embedded in the grooves of each coin. And for a select few who strike gold, either through a certified error coin, a pristine, speared bison, or a mysterious off-metal strike, the financial rewards can indeed be staggering. While not every 2005 Jefferson nickel is a jackpot, the fact remains that a few have crossed the threshold from loose change to luxury asset. That it's also important to consider the future value of such coins. As time moves forward and the pool of pristine 2005 Jefferson nickels shrinks due to circulation damage, hoarding, and misplacement, their rarity will only increase. Combined with rising interest from younger collectors and international buyers, the trajectory for high-grade examples is sharply upward. More collectors today are viewing coin collecting not just as a hobby, but as a legitimate alternative investment, one that blends history, scarcity, and tangible assets. That evolving mindset could very well push the value of standout 2005 Jefferson nickels into even higher realms in the decades to come. Stories have already emerged of coins purchased for a few dollars at garage sales or inherited from a distant relative, only to later be revealed as key varieties worth thousands. One collector from Ohio famously discovered a speared bison in a mixed roll purchased from a credit union. He had initially overlooked it, only to later realize its rarity when comparing images online. That coin, later graded MS66 by PCGS, fetched over $3,500 at auction. It's stories like these that keep the numismatic world thriving and forever on edge with anticipation. The allure of the 2005 1-cent Jefferson nickel isn't just in its metal content or even its production quirks.